Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 5 best and 5 worst brawlers in ranked right now. So 3 weeks ago, we did this type of video, but it's more so a prediction. Now, we've been able to grind masters, play a lot of ranked on multiple accounts, so I could give you guys the best brawlers to pick and the best brawlers to avoid for sure. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. We're going to continue on with the ranked grind, especially since the balance changes are hitting next week. So there's going to be a lot of meta shifts. Anyway, we're going to be taking a look at the best brawler probably for ranked right now, and that is going to be Leon. So you guys probably know how strong he is. He's just insane across the board. And the good thing about Leon as well is that he's probably even better in the modifiers. When you take a look at the modifiers, right, quick fire, he's literally the best brawler there because he just shreds through people. Got big friend as well. He's able to use his invisible star power to get even more value, and you just can't defeat the Leon. And time detonation as well, he counters all of the snipers. And the crazy thing about Leon, he's super versatile, and still, even in masters ranked, people don't ban Leon, which is absolutely crazy to me, because no matter how much you try, no matter how many counters you got, Leon will eventually creep behind you and to take you down. Literally, again, take a look at every single map and situation. You can even play him in heist in the quickfire modifier, like the best brawler there. So if you're not playing Leon in ranked, I just don't know what you're doing. For the next brawler in the top 5 list, we have Spike. So I know I said quite a lot of times that Spike is very overrated in ranked, but that's in, I would say, the classic modifier. I would say Spike is such a good pick in 2 of the modifiers in particular. So quickfire, he's a brawler that is insane. He has such a slow reload speed because you have this curveball that can just hit anyone at any point given, especially at a lower elo. He's just able to get infinite ammo in quickfire. Also on big friend as well, you can use the fertilize style power and basically never die. If you have a Frank on your team, or just any tank in general, imagine with a Frank, 14k HP with fertilize style power and the amount of damage that Spike deals, he's like the best pick in big friend. And like I said, he's still a good pick in Brawl, in gem grab. When you're unsure on what to go in some scenarios, you can always pick a lane Spike. So for me, has to be a top 5 brawler in rank. So next up on the top 5 list, we have Charlie. So quickly before we go into Charlie, I didn't include Larry and Laurie on this list because everyone knows they're a top 5 brawler. Anyways, going into Charlie, then for some reason, people do not ban Charlie. I think she's the most underrated brawler in Power League. I always manage to get Charlie in my draft. I don't know why. Do people just think that she's trash because she receives a few nerfs? She's easily a top 3 brawler in the game. You've got the annoying spiders gadget, even if you're facing off against brawlers that typically counter a Charlie and can destroy the spiders with one shot, like Jesse, Sandy, etc. You can just switch over to the other gadget. She's not going to be the best in quickfire, but she's going to be really good in big friend. That's one. I know you only get it 10% of the time, but she's insane on big friend, and she's just insane on 50% of the time as well in classic modifier. Again, I'm drafting Charlie into everything. She's one of the best counters to all of the meta brawlers like Leon, for example. She's a great counter to all of the snipers that are just running around the ranked meta right now. And of course, her super is still so easy to hit. Most of the time, I'm still auto-aiming max range and I manage to hit most of the time. It's just crazy to me how people are still underrating Charlie. Next up on the top 5 list, we have Angelo. So he's a brawler, again, that is very, very underrated. People are slowly starting to realize just how strong Angelo is. But I would say he's borderline broken right now. I know upon release, everyone was saying he was such a balanced brawler, and me myself, I thought he was strong, but balanced at the same time. But I didn't think he'll be this strong. So there's a couple of key reasons why Angelo is so strong in particular. So of course, he's a sniper that's able to, I think he's got like the exact same range as Piper, if not a tiny bit smaller. But even if he has less range, he's got a very fast movement speed. So that itself, having a sharpshooter with 4.4k damage, which you're able to double if you have your super, which only takes 2 hits to charge, by the way. A very fast movement speed, 6,000 HP. There's just so much going for Angelo. You take a look at the map pool as well. Pretty much all of the maps are really open. I'll say the only, actually no, you can literally pick Angelo everywhere. I'd say probably the only game mode he would actually suffer in is Hot Zone, but I'm still seeing him played a lot there on Ring of Fire and dueling beetles. Again, the modifiers are going to help him out a lot. He's one of the best brawlers in Big Friend because he deals so much damage. He can literally one-shot most of the brawlers in Big Friend, so that's why you pick him all the time there. In time detonation as well, the map's opened up. He's able to counter fellow sharpshooters with that very fast movement speed. Angelo's easily one of the best brawlers in the game, so making sure you abuse him before people realize. And lastly, for the top 5 list for ranked, we have Amber. So again, another brawler that people are sleeping on, but I'd say Amber is probably S tier right now. She's kind of borderline S tier, A tier. But for me, she's just never drafted whatsoever, and whenever I get a good Amber game, like, people just don't realize how strong she is, if you get what I mean. Everyone's just underrating her, and I don't understand, because the pros really value Amber for sure. When you take a look at the modifiers, I wouldn't really say she's insane in any of the modifiers right now. She doesn't really work in quickfire the way that people thought she would, but still, in the classic modifiers, she's insane. Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, Heist, Hot Zone. The good thing about Amber, she's actually really versatile. Ever since they buffed the spinny gadget, whatever you call it, I think it's Dancing Flames, she's been able to be a lot more versatile. Like, the problem with Amber always was that tanks could just take her down so easily, but now you can easily switch your gadget, especially on super grassy maps or maps with a lot of walls, and she's really strong there. You pair her super as well, being able to break open grass on key points like center stage. And the good thing about Amber as well, you're able to quickly chain through your supers and get a lot of control of the map. So for me, Amber's super underrated, and I'm not too sure why people aren't banning her as often as I think they should. Okay, so now moving into the worst 5 brawlers in ranked right now. So we're going to be starting off with Doug. So I'm sorry guys, I definitely overreacted with the Doug buff, but he just felt so good. I think it's because the map pool really swayed him when he first got those balance changes. He was just running it all over, like he felt invincible. And now with ranks and how the meta is, I don't think I've really ever seen a Doug. And if I do, he's very easy to counter. I think the only way you can make Doug work is if you're probably in a duo queue and you see a map, I don't know, like dueling beetles, you're able to pair him with a grey. But then again, I'd rather just go a different tank. It's a lot easier. So again, a big problem with Doug is that he can't close the gap to the opponents. Against really bad opponents, he'll probably get his super, but against good opponents that are able to pinch well, Doug just never gets close. It's so hard to play Doug. And then you take a look at the modifiers as well. Quickfire, that's not going to help him out whatsoever. Big Friend, every other tank is just a lot better, because again, Doug will he'll just be a walking super totem, essentially, on Big Friend. And Time Detonation as well. Of course, that's not going to help him out. So for me, he was extremely overrated. I apologize for that. He's easily one of the worst brawlers in ranks. To move it into the next brawler on the worst 5 list in ranked, we have Sam. So I know he's receiving a buff probably in a few days time or so. I still don't think that's really going to help him out too much, because all of it is increase his super damage. So for me, Sam easily still has to be on this list. Again, take a look at the modifiers. That's not going to help him out whatsoever. Big Friend, not going to help him out really, even though he's a tank. He isn't able to even get close to most people. Again, the big problem with Sam is that all of these brawlers that counter him have received damage buffs, or just everyone is getting damage buffs, which doesn't help out Sam whatsoever, because he can't get close enough. By the time he's got close, they've just absolutely ripped through him. Again, people have just creeped up the meta with really big hype charge stats. I know those have been nerfed as well, but that's still a big problem for Sam and a brawler like Ash as well. That's why they're just really down in the meta, because they used to be able to counter snipers and even have a decent matchup against other lanes, but they can't win any scenario. Like, I'm looking at the map pool right now and I'm not seeing any chance for a Sam. So unfortunately, Sam is at the bottom of the meta. So next up on the bottom 5 list, we have Brawlers. So again, Barley kind of comes and goes out of the meta. Sometimes he can be really strong, but it's been a while since Barley's been at the top. Unfortunately, other throwers are just way better. You think of all the meta throwers right now. You think of Larry and Laurie, they're just broken. Dynamite has a really broken hypercharge. You've even got Grom, who's just, of course, going to outrange Barley really easily. And even Willow is better than Barley right now, because the good thing about Willow is that you can defend yourself against tanks a lot easier. The thing about Barley, even with his slow gadget, even with his extra nauseous star power, tanks or just any sort of aggression are able to kill Barley so easily. He's so squishy, he's such a free kill. I think it's only maybe a few chances you can use Barley, but to be honest, again, there's just still every throw is better than him. Even Sprout has a hypercharge. I would rather go a Sprout than Barley in this meta. So for me, he has to be in the bottom 5. I don't think I've ever seen him in a ranked game. So next on the bottom 5 list, we have Carl. So I think Carl is getting a buff as well with the next set of balance changes. But again, I don't think that's really gonna do too much to him, because there's just so many hypercharge brawlers that are able just to run at him, cancel his super, and take him down quickly. He just can't deal with aggression. Whenever Carl has been at the bottom of the meta, it's because there's been really aggressive, super canceling brawlers at the top, and that's exactly what it is right now. Again, you take a look at the map pool, it's really not going to help him out too much. And it's also the fact that, like, Cole used to be really good against throwers and snipers, but snipers have got these insane damage buffs, which Cole just can't deal with right now. Throwers are getting hyper charges, and then Larry and Laurie as well, he's able to defend himself. There's just it's just so hard for him to get a kill and then get out. You take a look at the modifiers as well. None of those help him whatsoever. Quick fire, he's not going to get any value out of that. Big friend, time detonation. Ranked is really tough for Cole. Again, I don't think I've really seen a Cole, and if I have, I probably have just ran all over them. And lastly, moving into probably the worst brawler in ranked right now. I know you guys probably will try and fight this case, but it is Tick. So even though Tick is a good solid brawler in knockout and bounty, I just don't think he really touches this meta right now. There's just so many aggressive ideas. People are finally starting to realize just how strong some certain aggressive brawlers are in game modes like bounty and knockout. So even though Tick can be annoying and maybe at low elo he can be very annoying, I just think you just need any aggressive brawler, because the thing about Tick, ever since they nerfed his reload speed, it's just impossible for him to keep up. He hasn't got the damage output anymore. Take a look at all of the modifiers. There'll still be some brain dead people in the comment section that try and say that he's good in Big Friend. He's not. He has 0 damage output. Tick is not good in Big Friend. He hasn't got the reload speed to keep up. Also, quick fire, it doesn't work. I think it's bugged. And again, take a look at the rotation for him. I just think other throws are way better. Sprout has a hypercharge. You've got even Barley, I would say, is better than Tick right now. Again, you take a look at knockout. There's a few scenarios he might be okay in, like Bell's Rock. But again, since Bell's Rock got changed, that's actually nerfed Tick a lot, because you can't just funnel the opponents all the way back into spawn. They're able to escape a lot easier. So everything is just not working in Tick's favor. He's just terrible in rank right now. So that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know down in the comment section below who you think is the best in ranked and also the worst in ranked. But yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.